Do you even wonder why you need to find coaches and mentors in your larger organization when people tell you you need to do it? Or are you like me where you thought that you could just rely on your work product and that should be enough to advance your career and get cool opportunities? In this video, I'm going to talk about why that's absolutely untrue and why you do need coaches and mentors in your larger organization to be successful. And at the end of the video, I'm going to have a very specific tip on what you can do today in your own organization to start identifying some key people to help you with your career. Let's go. My name's Milan Patel, and in my 30 years of growing my career to senior level in a Fortune 500 company, I've had my own love-hate relationship with coaching and mentoring. I believed early on I didn't need it at all. I do good work, I get great reviews, I have great impact. Why do I need coaches and mentors? As long as I'm getting good reviews, shouldn't my career be advancing? You'd like to think so. But I'll never forget the one situation that has stuck with me the rest of my career about why it was so important to have coaches and mentors. It was a very crisp morning, and I had just come off of getting a really good review. It's like my fourth top review in a row. And I wanted in a special program called the High Performance Program. Now, this program, what it was access to coaches and mentors at a very senior level. If you got included in this program, which was a very short list, you got coaches and mentors at the most senior levels to teach you the street smarts of the company, the things that you're not going to learn from the books, the tips and tricks that they used over maybe 20 to 30 years in that company to be successful. That's how they got there. I wanted access to that. So I rode my bike into work, and I was pretty chilly that morning. My face is cold, and I went to the locker room, took a hot shower. You know how your whole skin gets tingly from the hot and the cold, going through it really quickly. And I was probably tingly also from anticipation because I was pumped. I tell you, I knew I was going to get in this year. I said, this was the year. I think it was 4 top reviews. I've told them I've wanted this for a few years now. I know this was the year, and they were going to announce it that day. My skip level manager had the info. So I parked my bike and I head right to my skip level manager's office. And I didn't even get coffee. And for me, that's a pretty big deal, not getting coffee before actually starting anything after biking into work. So I'm at the doorway. I knock and I'm like ready for it. And the skip level manager sitting facing out, looking at, working, look at the horizon, because they had a great view office, of course, because they were senior. And then the manager turned and we locked eyes. And in that moment, I felt like an ocean wave unexpectedly caught me in the face and was choking me to death, because I knew in that moment, the split second our eyes locked, I knew I did not get in the program. And for the next few seconds, a wave of emotions just crossed over me. And it seemed like 5 to 10 minutes in my head. My emotions went from disappointment to jealousy, couldn't understand why others got in, to somebody got in, to rage, going, what the hell? I could not, in that split second, understand. I've done everything. And then defeatism. I was just like, I lost all the energy, the tension was gone, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I am finished with this. I cannot take any more of this crap. And the manager stood up to try to talk to me. I put up the hand. Probably gave him a dirty look. And I turned around and I just walked out. And I went back to my office. I shut the door. I don't even think I got coffee then. I might have. Can't remember now. And I was sitting there with my head in my hands. Honestly, I was sulking for a couple hours. I don't even think I did any work. I was done. The skip level manager finally came down, knocked on the door. And I looked up and they came in and they sat down. And they said, Juan, I know you're really upset. I know you really wanted this. This is no reflection on your value to the organization. You got a top review, blah, 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 blah. And I think I half tuned them out until they said one interesting thing to me, which then really stuck with me, was that, well, Milan, you got to understand, you didn't get in. It's not because your work product. It's because the leaders that inducted you, they didn't know you. They had no exposure to you. They didn't know how you think. They didn't know if you could make a good leader or not because you haven't been exposed to them enough. You know, and I said, and I even got madder. I said, well, why are you telling me this now? Why didn't you tell me this 2 years ago? And the whole point of getting into that program is because I wanted that experience from those senior leaders who made it, like the street smarts. I wanted all the stuff that they learned over 20 or 30 years, even in the company, to be successful. That was the goal of the program. But what I took away was that I needed to do more, that I needed to have coaches and mentors in the larger organization, because not only do they get to know me then, but they also get to know what I want. And that's part of building your network. And that's what I learned. And that's why I became so passionate about it and why I want to do it today, because I made myself the unbreakable vow in that moment. And I told myself that if I ever got to the level where I could give back in that space, I was going to do my best to level the playing field, because I felt that they were gatekeeping people out and I felt I was being excluded. Now, maybe that was just my reaction at the time, but I felt excluded at that time. And I said, this shouldn't happen to anybody, which is why I'm so passionate about coaching today and why I do what I do. So if you're finding this information useful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and you'll get notified of other topics. There's many more on my website that talk about these things. But I did promise a bonus tip. The bonus tip is this. When you're identifying the first people to go for in your organization for coaching and mentoring, we tend to get notification of promotions, right? I'm going to use promotion as the example here. If you want to earn your promotion and you see people getting promoted, people tend to focus on those individuals because the lists come out, who got promoted, who got the levels. And they say it's kind of like, well, yeah, let's go talk to them and see what they did. Well, no, the right people to go after for coaches and mentors are not the individuals. It's the managers who have a successful track record of promoting people. They're the ones who understand the book smarts. They're the ones who have decoded what it takes to get people promoted in the organization. And they're usually also ones that have a lot of say in who gets promoted and who doesn't. So that's a great way to build not only your network, but also your coaching and mentoring opportunities with people who can actually teach and guide you through the successful rules of the engagement. And it's kind of like soccer or football in Europe. It's the same sport, but there are red cards and yellow cards, which are penalties. They're interpreted different ways. So you really need to dissect it. And that's the value of finding coaches and mentors in your larger organization. At the end of this video, I'm going to link a card where I talk about how to start a network. If you're really unsure and you don't have a lot of good ways to think about starting it, you might get some tips from that video as well. Until next time.